Hey, I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
I'm Sean.
We are Choose What We're Aiming For, and you're watching us on Xtaster.
Great.
We're doing well. We recorded a record, and now we're showing it to the world. We're testing it in the UK, I guess, for a week. UK kids always go insane, and we just knew that it would be like a boost of morale, you know what I mean, like that extra bit of confidence, because we always have such a great time here. So I guess that's the reason why. And it made sense. We haven't been here in a year. I thought we'd come back. Yeah, there's tons. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, I mean,
paraphrase it for me.
I mean, well, I think all of us as people have changed, almost have done like a 180, you know what I mean? Have kind of gone through that change, and the music has done the same thing, so we thought it all, come together in that kind of metaphor, like rotation. You know what I mean? We're just like totally making 180, everyone's changing, like kind of finding out what they want to do with their life, and a lot of the songs on the album are like that.
Yeah, if you look into the artwork itself, I wanted to kind of represent global change, political change, internal change, external change, just every sort of change possible. So I guess, yeah, he did a good job and came up, finished it.
Yeah, it's good. Teamwork.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
New addition, oddly enough, right when we got back from Give It a Name last year, I was sitting at home and I get a phone call from him. I think I was at a driving range in golf. Randomly. I don't know. Yeah. And
I didn't know that.
no lie, I was there. But at any rate, he called me and he said, "What are you doing this summer?" We told him we were doing a Warped Tour, and he was like, "Well, do you need anybody to play the second guitar?" Hands down, this has been my dream. We'd known him for years. We toured with him for years. We brought him on tour last time.
I didn't like it when
2 times ago.
I still don't like Justin.
Two times, and it just seemed like a perfect fit. And he did Warped Tour with us, playing second guitar, and he did the Fall Out Boy tour with us in the fall. And after that, it was just kind of a no-brainer. We'd started writing songs on the road, and in fact, it was pretty much the three of us that sat down and wrote the record. So I don't know. It's a really cool thing the way it all kind of turned out.
Yeah, it just kind of happened, so that's why I think we all went with it, because it was just so comfortable. Just kind of like, you know what I mean?
We did our first tour ever in a band 3 years ago with him, and we were unsigned. So it goes way back.
It does go, for sure.
Yeah. Oh geez, I can even go so much further than that. Well, first of all, on the record, Jeff and Dave together, musically, just did amazing things and impressed me. I wasn't at the studio much for that. 'Cause I don't know what I'm talking about there. I just know what sounds good. And they kind of took the ball and ran with it. Jeff could probably tell you what Dave brings to the table on that front. I know melodically and lyrically it helps me out a lot.
That's Jeff, he's going to say
They didn't really do anything. Like,
yeah, exactly.
it's hard, yeah. Like, I kept being like, "Yo, Dave, you want to give any days?" He was like, "Nah, it's fine." Yeah, so it was mostly just me. But
I set up like the pedals and stuff.
no, I'm just kidding. No, Dave brought a lot.
I made coffee. That's what
Yeah,
I made coffee. I made lots
Dave
of
actually
coffee.
started out as my personal assistant.
Yes, PA.
I was shitty with that.
I would be so sad.
Coffee.
Dave had many good ideas.
Sick latte.
And the song actually called Safe Ride. It's weird. I had this riff and Dave had a riff, and when we played them together, it was like fit into one song.
Yeah, it was like again, like a lot of those things just
You
everything.
sure have a way with words.
Yeah.
Just fit into everything.
Okay, well, also, more importantly for the band, like we've been a turbulent ride for the past few years with just maturing and growing up and stuff like that, and I think we kind of decided enough is enough. We need to take advantage of what we have and really appreciate it, and he has that mentality, you know what I mean, like greater good. understands that we have such a great opportunity, so let's put our petty stuff away, communicate, get along, and go with it. And I mean, I'd say he's our pillar, you know what I mean? Like, we owe a lot to him, and just
And likewise.
kind of keeping the glue. Yeah, because we're happy, finally.
Yeah.
I would say, after 3.5 years. I mean, you have moments in which you're stoked, but being happy in general, like harmony, you know, is nice. And I think right now we're in a really good spot and we have that. And that's a good thing to bring up, you know, to kind of finally be comfortable in your own skin with what we did musically, and to be alright with the reception, because it's different. You know, we went all over the place. We did exactly what we wanted because we just said, what's the point in not doing everything we want? What's holding us back?
There's
You know,
absolutely
people,
nothing to lose there.
like, we would sit there sometimes back in the day and rehearse, like, the first record. We'd be like, no, that sounds stupid. Like, fuck that part. Well, but why? We wrote Doctor, and we were so frustrated. And we had the tiny little hook, but I go to Dave. We're in the live room. We're all sitting there. I go, Dave, just play the cheesiest bass riff you can. So he does, and then Jeff starts, like, it's a funny, I don't know, we wouldn't normally do that, you know, but we just said, fuck it, let's have a ball. I think, I listen to the record like 3 times a day. It's so much fun to listen to because of that. Like, on one song, Jeff has a Spanish guitar, so picking
Santana.
yeah. And then like a Santana solo later on. It's so eclectic. So, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you brought that up. Yes. Because I'm sitting there just reading down and going, what the fuck was I thinking? What does that mean? What is that? Like, the Curse of Curves kind of made sense, and everything else was just quick, think of something like witty. So, we tried it also with this one, I think, songwriting wise, we tried to take it back to the core. Our influences were very, there was Weezer, there's Jimmy Eat World, but then there's like the Tom Petty, the Bruce Springsteen, like the core, like back when rock and roll, you know, the songs were, I don't know, the golden era.
Yeah, they were like crafted.
Yeah, where popular music is now, those are the roots, right? Like Panic with the Beatles, like they nailed it, you know what I mean, with that whole deal. We wanted to kind of make songs, you know, like not necessarily like jam out parts or anything like that. Like, it all kind of makes sense, I find.
Exactly, yeah, they are very much songs. Now, I'm not saying that the first album wasn't, but I mean, this is consciously making an effort to, like, you know, put it together the best way possible, you know what I mean?
The words this time were influenced by the music and the vibe of it, instead of, for the most part, because a lot of them were just made up in the booth, like, off the top of my head. I think that's the best way to do it. We finally, it's so cool to do these interviews, because if I were to do it, and this is my first for this record, what am I trying to say here? Okay, I would be asked questions about the old songs, and I wouldn't necessarily know what to say, because sometimes it was like, oh, I need a line to fit there, so I used the line I had, you know? But this time everything kind of correlates. And,
Songs speak to each other.
yeah, and I think lyrically they're really, really relatable, and I think people will dig it. We try to make everything a conscious story and have a connection, and I don't know. I'm pumped.
Yeah, so I mean, you can tell just by the way you talk about it that, you know, we put a lot of work into it. That's, if no one can doubt that we put a lot of work into it, and that it's, you know, the best effort that we could possibly put forth.
You can do it, put your back into it.
Yeah, exactly.
As the philosopher once said.